How's it going, guys? This is the Experienced Optimist, and I'm back with another article. This one's a good one. It's titled, How Women Get Men Right Where They Want Them. It's all about how women manipulate men. It's from EliteDaily.com, and it starts out, women are clever and creative creatures and often outsmart their male partners in various situations in order to get what they want. And pay attention to this part right here, because a lot of men say that women from other parts of the world are different, and they may be less controlling and manipulative. As my Slavic mother always told me when triumphantly scheming behind my father's back, female cunning surpasses male understanding any day. Men rule the world, but as long as women remain in control of the male mind, I will always believe the true master of the universe is secretly female. And that's why we live in a gynocentric world right now. It's because even though men control most of everything, they produce most of everything, they're protectors, women can easily manipulate men and get them to do what they want. That's why men are always falling over each other, killing each other, hating each other for absolutely no reason. Because they want to get closer to the pussy and ultimately put themselves on the pussy plantation. Continuing on, I have been hesitant to write this article as I somehow, and this is that sisterhood thing that everyone always talks about. I'm hesitant to write this article as somehow feel like a traitor to my own gender by giving up this ancient, top secret intelligence women have used since the dawn of mankind to manipulate the opposite sex. Then again, the knowledge of these tactics doesn't necessarily mean men will suddenly become invulnerable to them. See, that's the reason why I want to put this out there. Because I want men to learn from this. I want them to understand the truth about female nature so that they can go MGTOW, they can improve their lives, and they don't fall for these traps. There's too many men, too many simps, manginas, and so forth, falling from these traps. Hey, I fell for them. Many of the MGTOW providers fell for them as well. But as men, the way the world is going, we need to step up and stop falling for these traps. We're smarter than this. Okay. By catering to men's deepest caveman-like instincts, she's talking about how she uses our personality traits against us. Like instincts like physical force, pride, hunger, the will to hunt, the desire to provide, and sexual urge, the possibilities can seem endless as to what women can make their men do for them. The cleavage tactic tool, a wonder bra. Now we're getting into the things that a woman does to suck you in. I have always wondered if the male obsession for breasts just comes from being well fed as babies. Has anyone ever conducted research pertaining to whether or not homosexual men were just bottle fed? Nonetheless, to the woman who learned to use her body part to their advantage, I say, good insight. Whether a woman is naturally gifted or needs some help, cleavage is always appreciated amongst men of all kinds. It's nearly impossible for a man not to drool just by thinking about a pair of breasts, to the point that they've banned cleavage in the workplace because it leaves them too distracted to actually do their jobs. See, and this is another problem with what's going on right now, is that a lot of men are passing over qualified men to have women that look good in the workplace. And so they'll hire. So what's happening is you have a kid that graduates from Ohio State University, for example, who's a hard worker, can do the job, and he'll be passed over by women who just look cute and show their body parts, obviously. And this is what's happening right now. A MGTOW provider by the name of Immortal Minds talked about it. He called it the Hooters, I can't remember, let me see. He said Hooters business tactic, something like that. It's a really good video. I think I'm going to link it in the description. But that's what he's talking about. He's talking about now, instead of competent men being hired, a lot of women are being hired that just look good. I know this happens in the nightclub industry and restaurant industry because I used to be a part of that. And I saw it there first. But it looks like it's expanding to other companies as well. Okay. In other words, if a woman wants to distract her man from an uncomfortable issue, she just has to unbutton once, twice for very serious issues, and she should be in the clear in a matter of minutes. Think Kate Moss, though, rather than Ice-T's wife, Coco. The next tactic. Damsel in distress tactic. Tool, a pair of big blue eyes. Every man dreams of... Now notice this. Notice how they use how you want to do good against you. Every man dreams of being a knight and stepping in to defend a young maiden from danger. By taking advantage of this universal fantasy, a woman can make a man handle some problems she'd rather avoid. Which means, like I've been saying for a long time, most women, 99% I would say, are freeloaders and would rather someone else do their work than them do it themselves. Having an inherent drive to protect and help at any given time, which is something that's very good, a special instinct will click in a man's brain whenever he sees a desirable woman in distress. Men like to help, as this gives them a sense of being needed. So regardless if the problem is a flat tire, a light bulb that needs to be changed, or protection from scumbags on a night out, there is always a guy with chivalrous aspirations to assist a helpless woman. Men even take pride in teaching business and how to advance in a career so a girl, get this, so a girl can basically enjoy a hot builder, mechanic, bodyguard, career coach free of charge. And all she needs to do is give him a pair of admiring eyes and a warm hug, stating that she wouldn't know what to do without him in return. Yes, I might be retarding equality between the genders by still applying the damsel in distress tactic, but honestly, think it's for the best if we just let men be men in situations of this nature. See, and this is what I'm talking about. Women just use men. That's all they do. And as men, we need to understand this. This is straight from the horse's mouth right here. This is a woman explaining just how they do it. They tell you, oh, thank God you were here for me, when their lazy ass could have done it themselves, or they're incapable of doing it. And it's time for men to say, look, I'm not chivalrous anymore. I'm not going to waste my time anymore. I'm going MGTOW. You do it your own fucking self. And the simps need to start getting on board as well. But, I mean, that's a tall order. Okay, the next one, this is a good one too, but a lot of women don't want to do this because it's too much effort. The hot meal tactic tool. A steak, a stove, and a sexy apron. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. As old as this statement is, it still rings true today. Once you provide a man with some good food, he will now associate you with the feeling of being fed and taken care of by his mother as a young boy. A smart woman knows that a fed man is a happy man and vice versa. So a woman shouldn't even dream of discussing any pressing topics or shopping suggestions before dinner is over and her man is comfortably leaning back in his chair with a content smile. By serving him a great steak, remembering the right sauce, and adding a bottle of wine, a man will soon be sweet as a teddy bear. That's when you can move in the troops. And I believe John from MGTOW's Freedom spoke about this. Women always look for weakness in their men, and they wait till you're at your weakest point, whether you're be tired, content from eating food, you're drunk, any of those factors, right? And this is no different. So she waits until you're content, and then she comes to you, hey baby, I want to do this, I want to do that, and most men cave. So pay attention for this. All right, the next one is playing hard to get tactic, tool, good PR. Contrary to male belief, playing hard to get is actually not too easy for a girl, especially if she's truly interested and afraid that the male suitor might end his chase after one wrong move. But a woman who gives it up too easily for a man she likes knows the price she'll have to pay afterwards might be even bigger, no longer being the foremost topic of interest of her desired man. Prudery is outdated, and I personally believe you can control a man with sex rather than not giving it up at all. This is true. But even men agree that if the hunt is too easy, they'll grow bored faster than a gold digger spends money. It's a slippery slope to deal with, but there's a solution. If a woman gives the impression that she is hard to get and only dates A guys, then she can sleep with the man of her choice when she personally feels like it. By marketing herself like a superior product, which basically really she's a very poor product, and building mystery around herself at the same time, she can create a vision that a guy who dates her is punching well beyond his weight class. And this is what women do all the time. They make it seem like they have virtue. They make it seem like they have superior intellect. They make it seem like they're this great catch. But in reality, they're horrible, horrible women to deal with. In his mind, he'll think that he just caught the perfect prey, and she doesn't have to slam the door in her date's face when, deep down inside, she just wanted to be carried into the bedroom. Now, the last one, guys, I really want you to pay attention to this, because this is how women get you caught up in a cycle of drama, and you get addicted to this drama cycle, and you can't break out of it. And this is very dangerous, because when you're addicted in this drama cycle, you basically will be wooed by the siren and put into a state of sleep and then unrest. You get hooked on this drama drug, and she uses that to take you for all you're worth, your money, your state of mind, your resources. And she just continues to use you until you can finally break out of the spell. But most men, they can't. But the last one is called the drama tactic tool, Pandora's box. Boredom continues to plague hopeful couples every day. It's boredom that forces them to break up. Well, it's actually boredom that forces the woman to break up with you, because the man is generally content in the relationship. Forces them to break up, cheat, and even marry. Boredom is an intellectual cancer and is sure to develop once the honeymoon phase is over if the correct measurements are not taken. By adding a little drama and spice, women can make their relations passionate again. Women pick fights, go on random PMS trips, and question and nag in order to restrain relationships from becoming routine and dull. This is necessary for keeping things fiery, mysterious, and exciting. Understand, straight from the horse's mouth, this is basically, translation means that women like drama, and they'll continue to create drama for their benefit, not your benefit. A guy once said to me, "You're so irrational and it's so sexy." He was a simp. He was a dude that he got caught up in that, like I was saying before, that routine of drama, then peace, drama and peace. For some men, they get caught up in it and then they get fucked. Literally and figuratively. All right, so sexy. So I'm positive that men, perhaps unknowingly, see the necessity of these emotional roller coasters and schizophrenic attacks just as much as we do, as long as they, not too frequently, the schizophrenic attacks are not too frequent and they're followed by make-up sex. You know what? There was a guy on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talked about this. Excuse me, guys. What happens when men get caught up in the cycle? So there was a guy on the radio, Joe Rogan show, and he was dating this hot chick, man, and she was, when he first met her, she was super nice and sweet, and that roped him in, that pulled him in. And then she started getting crazy. She would go on these crazy spells, and she would try to cut him and throw things at him and fight him, and then she would go right back to being peaceful and happy and saying that he was the best thing in her life. And so this guy on the Joe Rogan show, he was talking to one of those policemen that talk people off the ledge, one of those terrorist guys, you know, in those movies where they're making demands, and the negotiator, police negotiator, he was one of them. He was telling him about this woman he was dating, and the police negotiator said, "Oh, I know what's happening here. This girl is basically a psycho. She was bipolar or something." And he said, "What's happening to you is whenever she's cool and calm, you love her, obviously, and it's great. And then when she gets out of hand and goes crazy, it's creating a dopamine rush within you. And you're getting addicted to this cycle of drama and peace. And this is very normal." And he said, "You have to get rid of this woman immediately because this is bad news." And he knew this because being a negotiator, he comes across people like this, and he had to learn about people like this. So let this be a lesson. It's like, you do not want to get addicted to drama and peace. You don't want to get into that cycle, because it's hard to break out of that cycle the longer it goes on. But yeah, guys, man, this was just an article I wanted to share with you guys. Great information on how women manipulate men, what to look out for. I have some other articles as well. It's going to be talking about how women manipulate men. And man, straight from the horse's mouth, man. Like, women, they're not even hiding it anymore. And this is why you need to go MGTOW. This is why you need to focus on yourself instead of focusing on these women. Because ultimately, they're just using your good nature against you. That's female game, is using a man's good nature against them. So if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe. I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed so far. I'm at 150 subscribers, and it's actually growing pretty fast. So yeah, continue to subscribe. Give a thumbs up, hit the notification button, support other MGTOW channels, and I'll talk to you later, guys.